The market's uncertain, revenue's tight, and hiring on hold. That's why results-driven companies are using Upwork to keep work moving. Go to Upwork.com today and start hiring proven freelance talent fast. No bulky overhead. No rigid long-term contracts. Just the right expert right when you need them. Work smarter and faster with Upwork. Go to Upwork.com now and find your freelance expert. That's UPWORK.com. Post a job for free and get started today.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out Zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
OnDeck is built to back small businesses like yours. Whether you're buying equipment, expanding your team, or bridging cash flow gaps, OnDeck's loans up to $250,000 help make it happen fast. Rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau and earning thousands of 5-star Trustpilot reviews, OnDeck delivers funding you can count on. Apply in minutes at OnDeck.com. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
The market's uncertain, revenue's tight, and hiring on hold. That's why results-driven companies are using Upwork to keep work moving. Go to Upwork.com today and start hiring proven freelance talent fast. No bulky overhead. No rigid long-term contracts. Just the right expert right when you need them. Work smarter and faster with Upwork. Go to Upwork.com now and find your freelance expert. That's UPWORK.com. Post a job for free and get started today.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out Zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Whispering Woods Extra that I'm bringing to you on a Tuesday. I've got one spooky story to share today, and as said in Sunday's Haunted episode, Toby won't be with me for these next few episodes. Well, he will be back, because he is part of 31 Days of Halloween, but they are all pre-recorded, so if I do go a bit quiet, you guys, it's because we're having a bit of a break, because we've done all the episodes. And I really want to decorate my kitchen because it's in such a mess. So I'm taking some time to do that. I'll get straight into it. Are you ready for the story? In 1962, a remote region on the western shore of Lake Victoria was gripped by a most unsettling outbreak. An epidemic of laughter that was far from joyous. It began quietly in the village of Kusasha, in what was then Tanganyika, modern-day Tanzania. On January the 30th, 1962, at a mission-run boarding school for girls, 3 students started giggling during class and could not stop. What started as a small fit of laughter soon spread like wildfire through the school's halls. One by one, other girls were infected by the mirth, doubling over in uncontrollable laughter. Teachers watched in disbelief as nearly 60% of the students fell into bizarre laughing seizures. This was no normal laughter. It was endless, hysterical, and eerie, often bringing the girls to tears. In fact, local villagers who witnessed the episodes called the affliction Ndwara ya Kucheka, the laughing disease or laughing trouble. Far from a happy prank, the laughter was tinged with fear and anguish, leaving those afflicted with tear-streaked faces and gasping for breath. Inside the school, the situation escalated over weeks. The laughter came in waves or attacks, sudden bouts that could last minutes or hours, then subside, only to recur later. Students would laugh until their sides hurt, sometimes weeping, trembling, or even fainting from exhaustion. Many experienced strange physical symptoms along with the laughter. According to reports, some girls suffered sharp pains, difficulty breathing, fainting spells, and even skin rashes during these fits. They would sometimes run aimlessly through the dormitory or become violent if someone tried to restrain them. The teaching staff, notably, were never affected. Only the students, mostly teens, aged 12 to 18, succumbed to the laughing illness. Teachers could only watch in horror as lesson after lesson was disrupted by cascades of laughter. Normal school life had become impossible. Concentration in class gave way to chaos and confusion. For nearly 2 months, the mysterious laughter raged through the school. By March 1962, 95 of the 159 students had been struck with uncontrollable giggling fits. The sounds of nervous laughter echoed down empty hallways, and the once orderly classrooms were left in disarray. With no end in sight, the school's administrators made a drastic decision. They shut down the school. On March 18, 1962, the mission school in Kasasha closed its doors, hoping that a break might end the bizarre epidemic. Students were sent home to their families, and a hush fell over the abandoned campus. But the silence did not last for long. What happened next only deepened the nightmare. When the laughing girls left Kasasha, they carried more than their school books home. They carried the laughter. As the students dispersed to their villages, the epidemic followed them into the wider community. In April 1962, reports emerged from Nshamba, a village about 55 miles away, that people were coming down with the same uncontrollable laughter. Nshamba was home to several of the students, and soon their relatives, neighbours and friends began laughing for no reason and couldn't stop. The contagion was no longer confined to one school. It was loose in the villages. Over the course of April and May 1962, 217 villagers in Nshamba, mostly young people, experienced laughing attacks that lasted days on end. Imagine entire families in fits of hysterics, young men and women doubled over in laughter, while their bewildered elders looked on in fear. According to one account, an entire village of over 200 people fell ill within days, afflicted by what locals somberly dubbed the laughing disease. The laughter was so pervasive and debilitating that normal life ground to a halt. Farms were unattended, gatherings cancelled, laughter had effectively shut down the village. From Nshamba, the epidemic continued its march. By June 1962, it struck another school, Ramasheen Girls Middle School, where 48 students were suddenly overcome with the same frightening laughter. School after school had to close as this bizarre affliction popped up in any community where the Kashasha girls had passed through. Classrooms stood empty and silent across the region, as laughter echoed in homes and streets instead. In total, 14 schools were forced to shut their doors to protect students and staff. For a time, it seemed no place was safe. Any gathering of children risked sparking the hysterical giggles anew. Over the next year, the laughing epidemic hopscotched across the Lake Victoria shoreline. Additional villages reported cases. Wave after wave of laughter spread across the district, infecting hundreds of people across a 100-mile radius around the town of Bakuba. The haunting sound of laughter, sometimes joyful sounding, sometimes desperate, was heard in one hamlet, then another. And yet this was no joke. Those who caught the laughing sickness were often racked with pain and fatigue, unable to eat or work while the fits lasted. Episodes could persist for days, even up to 2 weeks straight in some cases, before subsiding. Mercifully, the condition did not prove deadly in itself. There were no direct fatalities attributed to the laughing illness. Many years later, experts noted that even at the epidemic's height, people eventually recovered and no one died from simply laughing. Still, the toll was significant. By the time the laughter finally faded, approximately 1,000 people had been affected during an 18-month ordeal. As the laughter epidemic swept through village after village, it left terror in its wake. To the communities in rural Tanganyika, this laughing seemed to come out of nowhere, and in the absence of clear answers, fear and rumour took hold. People desperately sought an explanation for why their children and neighbours were acting so strangely. In a society where traditional beliefs ran deep, many concluded that dark supernatural forces must be at work. It didn't feel like a medical illness to them. It felt like a curse. Rumours spread from homestead to homestead. Witchcraft might be to blame, some said. Or perhaps the village had offended an ancestral spirit. One elder described the epidemic as if it came by the wind. An evil wind carrying misfortune from one person to the next. Villagers noted how the laughter seemed to gust through entire communities invisibly, just as the Basamwa, ancestral spirits, were said to move like the wind. Soon a host of explanations proliferated in the region. According to interviews with those who lived through it, a curse from the ancestors was one common suspicion, and others blamed witchcraft. Known locally by terms like Liloko and Belusi for bewitching the youth. In the local mindset, someone with ill intent or disturbed spirit might have cast a laughing spell over the village. It was a result of misfortunes because it came as wind and people contracted it, recalled one geyser elder. reflecting on that time. In one area, people said it was a curse, a punishment for unknown wrongs. Others thought the creator spirit himself was testing them, or that angry ancestral ghosts had infested the community. Everybody had his or her own theory, one elder remembered. Some said it came from the ancestors, and others that it was a curse from God. Yet amidst these varying beliefs, a consensus emerged that something otherworldly had descended upon them, something beyond the realm of ordinary illness. As laughter continued to erupt in new places, panic gripped the villages. People grew wary of one another, unsure who might succumb next. Rumours flew that the laughing plague could spread simply by proximity or a wicked breeze. Many villagers were afraid to visit afflicted families or neighbouring villages, fearing if they came near they would be affected too. Some went so far as to isolate themselves in their homes once they heard that the laughing disease was nearby. The atmosphere in the region turned tense and distrustful. To those who believed witchcraft was behind it, anyone could be a suspect. Perhaps a jealous neighbour or an offended spirit was responsible for the curse. Local healers and witch doctors were consulted in private meetings as families sought rituals or charms to ward off the laughing curse. Fear of the unknown hung over the villages heavier than the sound of laughter itself. Amid the supernatural theories, more modern anxieties also crept into conversation. Tanganyika had just gained independence from British rule in late 1961, only weeks before the epidemic began. It was a time of rapid change and uncertainty. Some villagers speculated that the strange laughter might be due to foreign interference or poison. Wild theories circulated that perhaps the atmosphere has been poisoned by atomic bomb tests happening far away, or that some secret weapon from abroad had infected them. Others pointed fingers at outsiders. A story spread of two European strangers seen inspecting local water supplies, sparking suspicions that the unknown force came from outside. Maybe the Europeans had brought the laughing disease with them. In a region grappling with political change, these explanations revealed a deep undercurrent of distrust and anxiety. But whether you believe in cursed spirits or contaminated air, the result was the same. Ordinary people were terrified. The relentless laughter had become something sinister, a sign that their world had been upended by forces they could not control. While villagers sought answers in the supernatural, the scientific world was equally baffled by the Tanganyika laughter epidemic. When the outbreak first erupted, doctors and investigators flocked to the region to observe this bizarre phenomenon. Blood tests, water tests, and exams were conducted on the afflicted students. No toxins, germs, or abnormalities were found. Medically, the laughing girls were perfectly healthy. With physical causes ruled out, the Tanzanian authorities and international experts eventually labelled the event as an extreme case of mass hysteria, also known as mass psychogenic illness, MPI. In essence, the laughter epidemic was viewed as a psychological contagion, a stress-induced collective reaction, rather than a disease of the body. Psychologists analysing the case theorised that the girls' laughter was a manifestation of intense stress and anxiety. The students had been under pressure, living in a strict boarding school far from home, amid the cultural upheaval of a newly independent nation. Laughter, in this interpretation, wasn't a sign of joy at all, but a cry for help from young people overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty. One researcher noted that adolescents often lack coping skills for sudden change, and that these girls may have subconsciously found a way out of their stress through shared hysterical laughter. Many of those affected were teenage girls and young women, individuals who felt powerless in a rapidly changing world. Mass psychogenic illness tends to strike such groups, providing a kind of emotional release or expression of distress that spreads socially. To this day, the Tanganyika laughter epidemic of 1962 stands as one of the most astonishing examples of collective hysteria in history. In the 18 months before it finally faded, it left a mark on the communities it touched. By mid-1963, the laughter began to die down at last. Schools gradually reopened, fields were tended again. Life slowly returned to normal in the villages along Lake Victoria. Yet the memory of the laughing disease lingered like a bad dream. For those who lived through it, the sound of laughter would never be heard quite the same way again. What started with a few schoolgirls' giggles had exploded into a regional nightmare. A reminder of how fragile our grasp on normalcy can be, and how even laughter, usually the sound of happiness, can become an instrument of terror when it runs unchecked.
The market's uncertain, revenue's tight, and hiring on hold. That's why results-driven companies are using Upwork to keep work moving. Go to Upwork.com today and start hiring proven freelance talent fast. No bulky overhead. No rigid long-term contracts. Just the right expert right when you need them. Work smarter and faster with Upwork. Go to Upwork.com now and find your freelance expert. That's UPWORK.com. Post a job for free and get started today.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out Zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
I really wanted to share this because just to give an idea of what goes on around the world. I just find it really interesting. And I know it's not necessarily paranormal, although it could be tied to witches and stuff. But that these things have happened. And, I'm just finding out about them myself through research. And I just find it remarkably interesting. So I thought I must do an episode on this. And now I know there is another case of this. I haven't looked into that one because I think it was covered on a podcast called Hysterical or something. And I'm pretty sure that one was in the USA. But I came across this one and I was like, yes, let's do it. I hope you've enjoyed. And we will catch you again tomorrow for the start of 31 days of Halloween.
Did you know Tide has been upgraded to provide an even better clean in cold water? Tide is specifically designed to fight any stain you throw at it, even in cold. Butter? Yep. Chocolate ice cream? Sure thing. Barbecue sauce? Tide's got you covered. You don't need to use warm water. Additionally, Tide Pods let you confidently fight tough stains with new Coldzyme technology. Just remember, if it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide.
Hi, this is Knox from the Popcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the Popcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zyn is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about. Because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zyn nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zyn nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.